All right. Now we have information on the SL9 case file. Now everybody involved is, well, involved in this case too. We're going to have some fun going through the connections. Isn't that right, Judge?
The call will now reconvene for the trial of Mr. Lawrence Sky.
Emmett didn't come back. That's a shame.
Allow me to call the next witness to the stand. The officer in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day of the crime.
I see. And welcome back, everybody, to more Let's Play Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. This is your host, BMJ406.
Witness, please state your name and occupation.
And now we're going to be dealing with Jake Marshall.
Me, partner? Oh, I'm just a man, same as you, wandering the trails of civilization. Occasionally helping the elderly cross intersections when needed. Yes, we get it.
Oh, I know. You're a patrolman.
There you go.
As for my name, if it wasn't hard enough, you can hear the howling wind calling it out. To be exact, it's Jake Marshall, Your Honor.
Howling wind? I've never heard Edward described that way before.
Now, Mr. Marshall, let me ask you something. You were in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day of the crime took place. Is this correct?
According to the papers, partner.
What do you mean?
A desperado's soul is as boundless as the desert's hands. No paper can sum it up.
Maybe it's best we get on with this quickly. Please share with us your testimony of the day of the crime. In plain old English.
Thank you, Judge. He really is starting to figure these guys out. Took him long enough, jeez.
My job is to keep a wary eye on that bone orchard.
They said I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day, but that ain't my style.
Besides, the room's protected by 2 security systems anyway. If I remember right, I was at a street-side saloon at the time it went down. I'm just an innocent traveling man, so if you're out of ammo, it's time I hit the trail.
That doesn't sound very responsible.
I can't say I particularly care for your attitude.
I can't say I care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining.
Wait a minute. What do you mean by 2 security systems?
I mean the security cameras and the ID card reader. I reckon even a cowpoke like you knows about those.
Yes, well, what about the fingerprint-activated locks on the evidence lockers?
Fingerprint-activated locks? What kind of newfangled doohickeys are those?
He's not being very helpful.
He's not that good with machines, or with following orders. Everyone's got their weaknesses now, don't they, Mr. Prosecutor?
This one seems like trouble. Okay, Mr. Wright, he's all yours.
Thank you. I've been waiting to dig into him all day. All right, Marshall, let's see what you have to say. Oh, you already said what you have to say.
Hold it!
Oh, accidentally hit L. I didn't even realize ready. How does that mean to keep an eye on the evidence room?
I just made sure nothing moved in the security camera monitor. That room's so still. Even Tom dies in there. I was just a caretaker who interred the recordings.
You interred them?
Videos of nothing aren't that useful. When the time would come, I'd erase the tape. If nothing unusual was recorded, the tapes are to be erased every 6 hours. Each time I'd erase the tape, it felt like I was erasing a part of my life.
This guy has a flair for the dramatic, but it isn't going to do him any good. So in actuality, you don't physically enter the evidence room.
I see. They said I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day.
Hold it!
I'm trying to figure out when he did it, though. But you made your rounds on the day of the crime, right?
And you heard a word I said, partner? I told you that ain't my style.
Okay. I'm afraid I don't understand.
No desperado I know lets rules get in his way.
No desperados I know join the police force.
So, Officer Marshall, on the day of the crime...
Just between you and me, I didn't set foot in the evidence room that day.
There was a rubber glove stuck in the victim's locker. Do you know anything about that?
Sorry, partner. Can't say I do. I haven't been in that crypt in weeks.
How does this guy avoid being fired? For real. Better ask about the security systems in depth, just to make sure. You used to be a detective, so you've used the evidence room in the past, correct?
Of course. Back in the day, my locker was a gold mine of evidence.
And yet you did know about the fingerprint locking mechanism?
Sorry, partner. I ain't good with machines. I couldn't even tell you how a bike works.
That's quite incredible.
The sensors on the locker handles cannot be seen. It's well known that some detectives are unaware of their presence.
Now that he mentions it, Detective Gumshoe said something like that too.
At any rate, it doesn't seem that this is relevant to the case, to the crime. Can you tell us when you were dealing with the crime took place?
Yeah, why don't we figure that out?
Hold it!
A Wright street-side saloon? What are you doing in a place like that?
I was eating spaghetti. Not even Angel steak lunches can beat that parlor's Bongo sepia pasta.
Do you mean to tell us You abandoned police doors to eat some noodles?
Not all desperados eat tacos, partner.
That's not what I meant. I hope this has at least taught you a lesson.
That's strange. This is usually where Edgeworth says, "Did you not want to raise this year?" He must already be on thin ice, I guess.
Hold it!
Let's see if I can do this. Out of ammo, Officer Marshall.
That's right, partner. Or as you'd call it, evidence. If you plan to pin me to this crime, then you'd better draw. Otherwise, you're just wasting my time. My steel horse is waiting to carry me back west into the sunset.
One thing seems clear. Despite being responsible for guarding the evidence room, the witness doesn't appear to have seen anything.
Texans don't take orders from anyone. Everyone knows that.
Apparently your superiors don't. Okay, I have a trump card on my sleeve, so I'd best keep my cool. Before I use it, though, I better up the ante. I mean, I figured out all the stuff I could, so may as well show that his
Objection!
fingerprints were in the evidence room. Officer Marshall, doesn't it strike you as odd? That is, you being called in to testify like this? After all, you weren't in the security room at the time of the crime.
And yet you dragged me down here. Explain yourself, partner.
Okay, if that's what you want, it's quite simple. You left a very large trail behind the scene. Or to be exact, a handprint.
Listen real good, partner. Like I said, I'm the caretaker of that crypt. I pay my respects. That is, make my rounds about once a month. It's only natural my fingerprints would be in there.
Objection!
Yeah, but not with blood. I wish it were, officer. But you see, your fingerprints were covered in blood. I mean, yeah.
Witness, what's the meaning of this? Your bloodstained fingerprints were at the crime scene?
The blood was wiped away. However, the luminol test clearly revealed this. Well, Officer Marshall?
It seems to me there ain't a person in this room with a head on his shoulders.
Oh, yeah?
I take it you have an explanation then, Officer Marshall. About the bloodstained fingerprints?
Yeah, really.
Very well, but begin your testimony about your fingerprints found at the scene of the crime.
Good luck explaining that one away. What, you see, after the crime took place, you put your hand in the blood, you're like, oh no, I better get this off.
Like I said, it's only natural for my fingerprints to be in that evidence room. One of them just happened to be at the same place as the bloodstained handprint. The murderer touched the locker where my fingerprint was by chance. The bloodstain and the fingerprint are completely unrelated. Or did you know the murderer was wearing gloves? See, I had nothing to do with it.
Why would you know that?
The witness's explanation appears valid, although there's room for doubt.
Life wouldn't be fun without any doubt, partner.
The defense will now cross-examine the witness.
This guy's hiding something. I can feel it. Now's my chance to prove it. How did he know the murderer was wearing gloves? Let's see if I can get some more detail about that out of it. I mean, I don't doubt that.
Hold it!
But this. So then, what about the bloody handprint?
Wasn't mine. It's no mystery.
Please explain.
My locker is covered with my fingerprints. It just so happened
The murderer touched the blocker with my fingerprint was by chance.
Hold it!
Okay, so that's your locker, you say. The chances of that happening are 1,000,000 to 1.
On the contrary, one could argue just the opposite. The chances of that not happening are 1,000,000 to 1. Get one thing straight, partner. You ain't gonna get no reward from me with a mere fingerprint. You wanna know why?
Why is that?
Hold it!
You say they're unrelated. Unrelated?
They're as different as night and day. Kinda like cereal and cereal. One's got to do with breakfast while the other's a type of murder.
He's right, although seemingly alike, they're totally different.
I don't see what homonyms have to do with this. Damn you and your words.
Hold it!
Didn't know the murderer was wearing gloves. How do you know that?
I may be a loner, but I still do my job. I keep up on the reports. There was a bloodstain at the scene, though to be left by the murderer. Thought.
That's right. It was found in Detective Gumshoe's locker.
However, no fingerprints were detected on that handprint.
Oh yeah, I think we try that too.
So that would mean the murderer wearing gloves happened to place their hand on top of Officer Marshall's fingerprint.
That's the only logical conclusion.
Can't let him squirm out of this one. I've got to find something. Something decisive to tie Officer Marshall to this crime. Something decisive. Let me just get the first one, just to make sure. That's because how'd you put it, pay your respects once a month?
Yeah, that's right. That and one more thing. That locker happens to be mine.
What? What do you mean?
I mean what I said. That's the locker I used when I was a detective. The locker I still use. All that's in there now, though, is a heap of broken dreams.
I see.
It'd be strange if my prints weren't all over that locker.
Apparently his fingerprint data was never removed from the locker's programming. He must have been using the fingerprint lock all this time without ever knowing it.
Are you starting to get the picture, partner?
The picture?
The sea of blood on the desert is just food for the buzzards.
Yeah?
There's only one reality, and that's this.
The security tape.
So long as my trail isn't in there, you can't say otherwise.
This isn't getting us anywhere, Mr. Wright. Please consider carefully where you're going with this cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now then, continue testimony, Officer Marshall.
Too bad it wasn't me in that video, right, partner?
Let me press first. What do you mean by that?
You want to tie me to this crime, isn't that right, partner?
Yeah?
If so, that video is the only direct evidence you have.
Objection!
So you say. But that video is next to useless. It's full of blind spots.
Blind spots?
Places you can't see. Come on, Judge. The camera's panning back and forth. The floor isn't shown. If someone was familiar with the camera's position, they could leave the room without being caught on tape.
Objection!
Oh, come on, Edgeworth.
We don't have time for your speculations, Mr. Wright.
Well, Mr. Wright, if you can show us evidence in this video that indicates Officer Marshall was present, please do so now.
Well, I may as well. Very well. Allow me to point out your mistake, Officer Marshall.
Tread carefully, Mr. Wright, or you might wind up being the one making the mistake.
I understand, Edgeworth.
Now then, let's have another look at the video. Show us this incriminating evidence of the witness, Officer Jake Marshall.
Oh, this one they will penalize you for, though. Oh, you go step by step, too. If you pause and then hit that, you can go step by step through this. Remember at the end of the video, towards his locker. Remember, right around here. There's a piece of cloth hanging out. That's what I want. Shows his locker was used at some point during the video. Bringing our attention back to the security camera is a mistake I'm afraid you'll soon not forget, Officer Marshall.
The days are short in Texas, and so are our tempers. Could you sum up what you have to say in 8 words or less?
Okay, fine. Very well. You can clearly be seen in this video.
Exactly 8 words. Not bad, partner.
The key lies in a certain locker shown in the video. As you can see the cloth hanging out. That locker.
The locker with the white cloth sticking out. That was the witnesses, I believe.
Now then, let's rewind the video a bit. Let's just go from after the crime happened. Because you notice right before there's nothing in there.
Oh, the white cloth, it's gone. What's the meaning of this, Officer Marshall?
When the crime took place, the white cloth wasn't there. Then it suddenly appeared. There's only one explanation. Officer Marshall, you were in the evidence room at the time of the crime. What's more, you opened your locker when the camera was turned away. Yes.
Order! Order! It would seem that's the only...
Hold your horses. Sorry, partner, but you got the wrong man.
What?
So what if my locker was open? That doesn't mean I'm the one who opened it. The murderer needed to hide something, so in a locker and stuck it in. It's not my fault he happened to choose mine. Why is everyone staring at me like I'm a wanted man?
Wow, this guy isn't just playing dumb. He really doesn't know. I hate to rain on your parade, but you're the only person who could open that particular locker.
Oh yeah? I'll call your bluff. You said I opened that locker, now prove it.
Well, we have the locker systems themselves. So, what are our lockers?
A fingerprint sensor?
Yeah. We talked about this earlier today. The lockers can only be opened by the detectives they belong to.
Well, what kind of crazy talk is this?
Well, Detective Gumshoe did mention something about this. That would explain why I thought I could get into Bruce Goodman's locker, too.
In any case, the locks aren't that obvious. There are even some people on the force that don't know about the fingerprint locks.
And he's one of them. So, Sheriff, what do you have to say in 8 words or less? Are you eating jerky?
I only got one word for you, partner. No!
Aha! No, we caught the fact that you were in the locker, but why?
Order! 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 Witness! Explain yourself!
If this is a joke, it's the worst I've ever heard.
I assure you this is no joke, Officer Marshall. Now then, please tell us what you were doing in the evidence room at the time of the crime.
Ole! Please answer the question!
Olay? What is he now, a bullfighter? Damn you, Judge. That's all right, Officer Marshall. I believe we can figure the rest out from here.
We can?
And look at these floor plans. There's no place for someone to hide in the evidence room, yet Officer Meekins didn't see Officer Marshall. Somehow.
If that's so, then where was the witness?
It seems Mr. Wright has an answer. That's right. The only possible conclusion.
Well then, let's hear it. Where's the Officer Marshall at the time of the crime?
I wonder.
Take that!
That maybe? Damn it! Officer Marshall was standing right here!
So Officer Meekins didn't notice him standing there. It's almost as credible as Meekins' warp theory.
Your chamber's empty, partner. Better reload. Now they're ganging up on me!
Perhaps you should think a little more about where Officer Marshall was.
Officer Meekins should have seen him in the evidence room. That means the only place he could have been would be...
Well then, let's hear it. Get it right this time, you idiot.
Take that!
Well? Officer Marshall was standing right here!
Yeah, but that's where the victim, Detective Goodman, was.
Nope. Correct. Unless the man wasn't Detective Goodman. I believe the victim in the video is Officer Marshall. Why did they label him as a killer? That was stupid. It was you, dressed up like Detective Goodman.
Objection!
Ooh, that's a good explanation.
But that's preposterous. Officer Meekins witnessed the detective at the crime scene. Once he saw the man's face, he'd know for sure.
Objection!
But he didn't really know them. May I point out, though, that Officer Meekins did not know Detective Goodman? He also testified about the man's reaction when confronted. When I entered the evidence room, I asked him to show his card, sir. Yes, and how did Detective Goodman respond? He's only pulled a knife on me! Yeah, that's right. Something about the officer's story puzzled me. If the man had his ID card, why didn't he just show it?
Yes, he would have needed it to enter the evidence room, so he must have been carrying it.
The answer is simple. He couldn't show it. Yep, as you can see, Detective Goodman's picture is on his ID card.
Oh, I get it.
If he showed that, his cover would have been blown. Officer Meekins would have realized the man wasn't Detective Goodman. Do you have anything to say to this, Officer Marshall? You've got quite an imagination, partner. We've got a term for that. It's called circumstantial evidence. Circumstantial evidence? He's still denying it? You're gonna have to do better than that to break a detective. Unless you have hard evidence proving I dressed up as the victim.
I can't say I particularly care for your uncooperative disposition.
I can't say I care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining. But damn the beard.
Well, Mr. Wright, do you have any evidence proving beyond a shadow of a doubt that Officer Marshall dressed up as the victim?
Well, who am I kidding? I don't have anything like that. I can see that fear in your eyes, partner. Seems you're the one who couldn't take the desert heat. Shit. Hack! This can't be happening. It's so obvious he's the one. What can I do? Edgeworth? Ooh. It looks like your lack of experience has finally been exposed. I'll pass on to you what someone told me when I was just starting out. When you run into a wall with no place to go, return to the basics. The basics? Huh. For me, that would be what Mia used to tell me. Phoenix, try thinking outside of that box. The box? I shouldn't look for proof that Officer Marshall was in disguise. but rather as you look for evidence that came about because he was in disguise. Why do you think this locker was open in the first place?
What do you mean?
There's no reason for Officer Marshall to open his locker at the time of the crime. And he did, despite the chance it might be discovered later as it has been. Which means he didn't originally plan to open his locker.
According to the defense's arguments, Officer Jake Marshall dressed up as Detective Goodman at the time of the crime. Then after the crime was committed, he opened his own locker for some unknown reason.
Ooh, I think I know. The fact that a white cloth is sticking out of the locker seems to indicate that he opened it in order to put the cloth inside.
So, just what exactly is this piece of cloth?
Perhaps the video is the key to all our unanswered questions. I don't have any evidence, so this video is my only shot. Oh boy.
Very well, let's take yet another look at the security tape. At the committing of the crime, the witness opened the locker and put away the white cloth. Please show us why the witness had to open the locker.
There's one more thing I never went over. Oh god, I keep doing that. Oh, I hate pointing this out. Let's see. So let's wait for the altercation to ensue. Watch this. He had a knife. Oh! You notice that bloodstain? Ha 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 ha! I almost forgot about that, actually. For some reason, you disguised yourself as Detective Goodman and entered the evidence room, though I don't know what end yet. However, something unexpected happened. Meekins. Officer Meekins barged in on you. When asked to show your ID card, you pulled a knife on him. However, Officer Meekins panicked, and the white coat you were wearing was soiled with blood.
A bloody white coat.
You couldn't just walk out like that, so you hid the coat in your locker. Not bad, partner. So he finally admitted it. Good. I'm glad I caught you.
Now then, Officer Marshall, are you ready to tell us the truth?
Looks like I underestimated y'all. I hope you're happy now, Mr. Edgeworth. Edgeworth? 2 years ago. If you were only half as persistent then as you are today, we all wouldn't have to be here now, would we? Officer Marshall, tell the court what you did. All of it. All right. It seems the time has come. This is about SL9? Maybe. Let's find out. His confession. I had to do it that day. I couldn't just stand by and let it die. I stole the detective's ID and dressed like him. I planned to take out the evidence. I wasn't expecting Officer Meekins. I knocked him out. He managed to escape. I knew which areas would be caught on the camera. There wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15. So that was a fake.
So the supposed victim was really you.
But there's only one thing I still don't understand. Traces of a large quantity of blood were found on the floor of the evidence room. If no one was murdered, then how could that be? Officer Meekins managed to cut his own hand. My guess is he's the donor. It was way too much blood for such a small donation. Frickin' Meekins. Stumbling all the time. What a worthless police officer. Man.
Hold it!
Alright, well, let's get some more info on why he did it. When you say it, you mean... Do you even have to ask, partner? The SL9 incident. 2 years have passed since that case was closed. It was going to completely end with a transferal that day. Not if I have anything to do with it. That incident's not over. But what did you hope to accomplish by sneaking into the evidence room? When our case is closed, or when the case's lead detective can look through the evidence. I wanted to have a look at it myself one more time, no matter what the cost. I don't care what anyone says, partner. That case is mine. Officer Marshall wasn't in charge of that investigation. Why does he care so much about it? That day was my last chance. That's why I... Let's see. I think I know why. Because I did see a name in the case file. Why did you disguise yourself as Detective Goodman? If I didn't make it look like Detective Goodman was carrying out the evidence transferal, I'd be arrested for stealing evidence, which won't get me anywhere. So you did it to fool the security camera.
And the detective's ID card?
I stole that the morning of the incident. So that really was why Goodman started filling out that lost item report. I returned his ID card. I left it on the floor of the prosecutor's office parking lot. The ID card I found was left there by Officer Marshall.
So essentially, you managed to succeed despite your lack of foresight. What do you mean, partner? I mean, the fingerprint activated lock, of course. No matter how well you disguise yourself, you can't change your fingerprints. Under normal circumstances, you wouldn't have been able to open that locker yourself. But he could because a rubber glove just happened to get stuck in that door. That means Detective Goodman must have opened the locker before Officer Marshall. Huh. Interesting.
Hold it!
You knocked out the officer, huh? You pulled a knife on Officer Meekins and tried to drive him off? Let's just say I was a little surprised. I only planned on being in the evidence room for no more than 5 minutes. I didn't think anyone would actually come in during that short time.
Officer Meekins certainly is a one-in-a-million type of person. Staying a detective for an intruder and demanding to be shown his ID.
I'll have to think a little more about his raise this year. When did Edgeworth get so much influence? Anyway, he threw himself at me and I ended up cutting him slightly. I'm sorry it had to turn out that way, with me knocking him out and everything. By the way, what happened to your knife? Oh, you mean this one? I don't know what to say. He cleaned up.
So you knocked Officer Meekins out and...
You knew which area was going to be caught on camera.
Hold it!
There wasn't any murder, huh? May as well go into it. But the blood found on the scene certainly indicates a crime took place. What are you, blind? The victim shown on that tape is me, and I'm not dead yet, partner. So you stole the evidence from the locker. Actually, no, I didn't. Why not? When I opened the locker, the evidence was already gone.
What? Mr. Edgeworth, where's that evidence?
It's still missing, Your Honor. Whoa! Detective Goodman's locker is already empty. Someone else stole the evidence. I had a feeling we'd wind up here sooner or later. Someone involved here is related in some way to that case. Better take another look at the files. Let me see.
Hold
May
it!
as well press everything. So you did your research beforehand. Those who go into the desert unprepared don't live long, partner. I didn't think it would make a difference, though. The security tape is erased every 6 hours. If all gone as planned, no footage would have been left. However, you bloodied your coat in your struggle with Officer Meekins. If someone was in the security room when I came out, the jig would have been up. I opened my locker and stashed it in there. What was Officer Meekins doing during that time? What else? It was sleeping like a baby.
So what you're saying is on that day...
Officer Marshall! May I ask you one thing? Fire away, partner. It's a free country. Just remember, I'm also free to decide whether or not to answer. Why did you do this? Stealing a detective's ID? Entering a police officer? This is no small offense. Moreover, you're an officer yourself. This will have serious consequences. It can't just be forgiven with a simple cut in salary. Not that salary cuts are ever a valid solution. Like I said, this isn't your case. This one is mine, and I'll do anything it takes to get an answer I'm satisfied with.
The witness has an unusual amount of zeal. Let's hear more.
Can't just forget that SL9 incident. You know why?
Hold it!
Let's press him to find out why. That case was solved 2 years ago, wasn't it?
That's the reason the evidence was stored in the evidence room.
Joe Dark was convicted for his crimes. One thing I can say for sure is he deserved his sentence.
I remember the Joe Dark case. It involved serial murders, didn't it?
I don't intend to complain about how it turned out. There's something that still bothers me. Something went down in that trial. Something no one will talk about.
What happened?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to find out. Why is he so concerned with that incident? Maybe I should present him with what I think is his real reason? What his real reason is? I had a feeling we'd wind up here sooner or later. So, it's finally time. Now I know why. May as well show that case file. Oh, where is it? That!
Objection!
There we go, the incident files. I remember the name, Officer Marshall. I think I understand. I think I know why you care so much about the SL9 incident. Sounds like you've been sipping too much cactus juice, partner. No, I have the SL9 incident file here. The name Marshall is mentioned in here. Yep, and a list of murder victims. Neil Marshall. Are you related to this man? Neil Marshall. Yeah, I'm sure you've heard the name. 2 years ago. Oh!
He received that same lousy prosecutor award you got.
What? A prosecutor?
Must be talking about the King of Prosecutors Award. Now I remember. Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He handled the SL9 case before I did. That's right. He was killed, and the case fell into your hands.
But what's his relation to you?
He was my brother. He was investigating the murders with Damon Gaunt, the then deputy chief of police.
Oh, wow.
The group of detectives I was part of worked under them. We were desperate to prosecute the killer.
Makes sense. So that, oh god, he does look creepy.
Joe Doc. My brother fought Doc and was killed. That was the first time Doc left behind any evidence. That was all we needed. He was arraigned and incarcerated. The case is finally closed, at least according to the public records.
What do you mean?
My brother couldn't have been killed by Joe Doc. I knew my brother better than anyone. No one could have beaten him in a fight. And that's it? That's your reason for your insane actions? There's more to my brother's death than what the records say. No matter how much you try to hide it, you can't fool me.
Well, at least one thing's for certain. Now we know what happened in the police department on the day of the crime.
That was the last day the SL9 case could be reopened. Not satisfied with the resolution, Officer Marshall planned to steal the evidence.
Disguising himself as Detective Goodman, he entered the evidence room. Officer Meekins confronted him, so he rendered him unconscious and fled.
Yes, this mystery has finally been cleared up. No murder took place at the police department that day. Uh-oh.
So that means
The things that happen by chance never cease to amaze me.
at exactly the same time as the murder at the prosecutor's office, this fake murder was going on at the police department. Chance? There's gotta be more than just that.
So, if no one was murdered at the police department on the day of the crime, that means the murder in the prosecutor's office parking lot was the real one.
Which, in turn, means only one person could have committed the crime. Chief Prosecutor Alana Sky.
Objection!
Damn it!
But wait! The verdict wasn't reached in yesterday's trial!
Objection!
Oh, yeah, right.
Which is why we examined the incident at the police department today.
But
There is only one reason the defendant was not convicted yesterday. There yet remained the mystery of the simultaneous murder at the police department.
it seems to me, this boy's got the draw on you, partner.
All the mysteries at the police department have been resolved, no doubt about it. Our sole murder took place at the prosecutor's office. The only suspect is Lana Sky, and the testimony of one Miss Angel Starr is completely incontestable. If you have a response, make it a single word or less.
Arrgh!
Damn you! I rest my case.
Ah! We proved her. Ah!
Then this trial has reached its conclusion. There's no room for doubt.
Well done, Mr. Wright. Thanks to you, I didn't need to waste my time disproving the alleged murder at the police department.
God damn it! He used me! There's no doubt what I proved today is true. The apparent murder on the security camera's tape really was fake. But I didn't realize that would end up proving Lana guilty. Damn it!
Now then, the time for the verdict has arrived. This court finds the defendant.
Oh, what now? Who was that? Emma! Whoa!
Your Honor, wait!
Emma?
The defense has an objection! A scientific objection! Right?
What do you mean, right?
Mr. Wright, are you this girl's guardian?
Your Honor? Oh, in a sense.
Please, Your Honor, all I'm asking for is a minute of time! Please hear me out! Mr. Edgeworth, please!
I don't want to leave any loose ends. You want a minute? I'll give you 3.
Oh, Edgeworth. So nice of you.
I was kind of in shock. I mean, finding out the actual names and referred to the Joe Dirt killings.
Now she mentions it. The names of both Sky Sisters were in that file.
That's when I figured it out. I mean, what Officer Marshall was trying to do that day. So I knew his fingerprint had nothing to do with the crime. And it left only one thing, the other handprint.
You mean the traces of blood found in Detective Gumshoe's locker?
But no fingerprints were found on it, right?
No, but I figured if I examined it scientifically, I'd be sure to find a clue, so I went over there to look at it again.
Oh, so did you find something?
No.
Huh?
Sorry, I guess I'm not much of a scientific investigator after all.
Is that all?
Please don't be mad. I'm just a high school student.
And I'm just an attorney.
Mr. Wright, those traces of blood are the only clue we have. We can't find something wrong with them. Please, Mr. Wright, you're a professional. If anyone can save blood, it's you.
Me? Oh boy! What the hell?
Time's up. Now then, Mr. Wright, in regard to the incident at the police department, is any reasonable doubt remain?
It appears the defense is troubled by the other blood mark. Yeah, it was gloved. Looking at the floor plans, a handprint was discovered around here. Is there a problem with this?
Mr. Wright, I'm sorry I can't be of more use. But still, if you can't find anything wrong with that blood mark, Lana will be.
Please answer my question, Mr. Wright. We don't have all day.
Yes, Your Honor. If ever I've needed to concentrate, it's now. What could be wrong with that handprint on Detective Gumshoe's locker? Could there be something I'm missing? There is, I believe, because there's a gloved hand fingerprint. Yet Marshall's print was ungloved and he opened his locker.
Objection!
But not knowing about the fingerprint thing, this handprint left at the crime scene clearly shows a contradiction. It has to. The only thing that seems clear is your grasping, Mr. Wright.
You've been staring pretty intently at those floor plans. Tell me, is there a problem with them?
Yes, this is strange. Take a good look at these floor plans. Something is missing. Missing? You mean something hasn't been drawn on there? Yeah. Yes. Something that, when drawn, will completely change the meaning of the blood mark.
Now let's pray the defense isn't simply trying to buy time. Very well, Mr. Wright.
With all this evidence here, there's got to be something I can use.
The question is, which item can prove something is missing in the floor plans?
That was there at the time of the murder, supposedly. We never went over the fact that that was there. What about that piece of plywood? The Blue Badger, mascot of the police force, defender of truth, guardian of proof. Explain yourself, Mr. Wright. Please look at the floor plans of the crime scene. The Blue Badger is not here. So watch what happens when we put him in. This is where he was dancing at the time of the crime. In front of the locker. Well?
Whoa, what?
That's right. So long as the Blue Badger is dancing here, it would be impossible to place a handprint in this spot on the locker. What? Yeah, so that means someone else was in there first. The first number.
So that means, what does that mean?
It means it can't be done.
What are you saying? Blood traces were undeniably found in that locker.
Don't look at me. I didn't put it there.
Mr. Wright, think it through scientifically.
Emma.
On that afternoon, Officer Meekins was someone who brought the Blue Badger to the evidence room, right? And if you put it down, it would be impossible to leave a handprint in that locker.
So that must mean this blood mark was left there before the Blue Badger was brought in.
Just one moment. I will not allow such far-fetched balderdash in my courtroom.
It may sound far-fetched, Your Honor, but it's the only possible explanation. On February 21st, in the police department's evidence room, blood was spilled not once, but twice. But how? One time was captured on this tape, taken by the security camera. Officer Meekins got his hand from which a trivial amount of blood fell. The problem is, the other time. Yeah. Because we can't see the mark there. Someone bled prior to the struggle shown on this tape. It had to have been Detective Goodman when he was really murdered.
Objection!
Aha! That's ridiculous. I refuse to accept your absurd claim.
Objection!
But we have plenty of things to prove that. The murder portrayed in the security tape has been proven to be a fake. However, that does not explain the blood mark found in the locker.
Objection!
You can't be saying I'm wrong. So then, assuming this murder you purport really happened, when did it take place? I demand you show evidence that proves when it occurred. When did the first incident occur?
To summarize, the defense claims that prior to Officer Meekins being cut by Chief Marshall, who was posing as Detective Goodman, another incident took place in that evidence room.
That's right. The blood mark on the locker proves this.
Very well. Then tell us. When did this first incident occur? As Mr. Edgeworth said, proof must be presented.
Proof that shows when the murder took place. There's only one piece of evidence I can show that.
Now then, will the defense please present its evidence? What shows when the first crime took place?
We still have the record of when people entered the room and one identified name. If the crime took place inside the evidence room, then the killer would have had to enter it. In order to do so, an ID card would have been required.
An ID card? Oh! The ID card record!
Yep. Officer Meekins brought the Blue Badger panel into the evidence room at, let's see here, 4:50 p.m. If the crime took place before that time, then it would be
4:40 p.m. Oh! Oh! Miles Edgeworth, just what have you done?
I never would have figured you had the nerve, boy. Drop the act, witness. It doesn't take a lot of thought to figure out it couldn't have been me. Nope, I ain't getting it.
I'm afraid I don't understand either.
It's clear from the luminol test that blood was there. However, when the second crime took place, both Officer Meekins and Officer Marshall failed to notice the blood.
That means the blood from the first crime was wiped away by the real murderer.
I would have had just 10 minutes to murder the victim, carry his body away, and clean up the blood. Unfortunately, that's physically impossible.
That would mean the crime must have taken place before Mr. Edgeworth entered the evidence room.
Let's look at the chart again. Yeah, there's only one other card number remaining. 7777777.
Talk about a lucky number.
But wait, that doesn't make sense. How could Detective Goodman have entered the evidence room?
Since there's no record of his card being used beforehand, he must have entered along with the real murderer. That's the only plausible explanation. He went in with 7777777.
Mr. Edgeworth, please look at this ASAP. Find out whose ID number is 7777777.
That's 17 too many, Your Honor.
Oh, he said it 8 times, damn it.
Unfortunately, I'm unable to look up the owner of that ID card. At least, at present.
What?
Explain yourself, son. The ID number 7777777 belongs to someone with the rank of captain or higher. Someone who is a so-called executive officer. We don't have the authority to inquire into such a person's identity.
Objection!
Damn it! He's a murderer! That's ridiculous! Just help!
I'm not finished talking, Mr. Wright. There is one situation in which we can be granted such authority.
If an official charge filed against an executive is accepted,
An official charge?
You're all alike, aren't you? With your cover-ups and your forgeries.
That's how the prosecutor's office operates. It does seem that way, doesn't it?
I take pride in my work, Officer Marshall. I would appreciate it if you would keep your slander to yourself.
Slander, is it? Okay, let me ask you a question.
Yes? No, not to you. To her, the defendant sitting over there. Your own little executive.
Lana?
Objection!
Oh!
Don't be stupid. She's been charged with murder. Of course, we've looked up her ID number, and it's not 7777777. Don't play me for a fool, partner.
That's not what I want to ask. All I want to know is one thing about that incident.
the SO9 incident?
Answer me this, Chief Prosecutor. In the trial 2 years ago, did you really only use legitimate evidence?
Oh, dear.
Do you need the witness to repeat his question, Chief Prosecutor?
I heard him fine, Mr. Edgeworth.
2 years ago, I was in charge of the prosecution for that trial. At the time,
Occasionally, we felt the powerlessness of the law. At least, I did.
Oh, no!
Lana! I became a prosecutor in order to suppress crime with the law. Before I realized it, we were the ones being suppressed by the law.
Defendant, just what are you saying?
I'll ask you again, Chief Prosecutor. During that trial 2 years ago, did you really present all the evidence in court? Can you look me, an investigator in that crime, in the eye and say that you did?
Chief Prosecutor, you didn't.
I don't have to, Officer Marshall.
Why will you answer him?
Drastic crimes require drastic measures. That's just the way it is. We did what we had to, in order for him to get the verdict he deserved. But Lana! Even if it involved forging evidence.
Oh, shit. So, they did it! They forged evidence. See? That's what I'm talking about. No. No!
Order! 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 Order!
Lana's remarks caused such a stir. No shit. The chaos in the courtroom could not be quelled. The conclusion of the trial would have to wait until the following day. Jesus Christ. Well, when you figured out like the people running the law are corrupt as shit, forging evidence to get people that may not have been guilty in jail, no shit, people are gonna freak out. That could raise so many questions. Damn. Well, that'll do it for this episode. We got through that trial, somehow saving Lana, if not, well, she got guilty of something else, but that's beside the point. Now, the whole prosecutor's office is up in a rut. Damn. Oh, well, now we have an identity who the possible murderer could be, whoever that 7 number is. The 7 sevens. So come back next time, we'll look into the investigation and figure out exactly who that man or woman could be.